Back in the 50s, Herbert Marcuse, the primary popularizer of cultural Marxism in the United States, said that women, the marriage, monogamous marriage, one man, one woman marriage, till death do you part, was a trap, a prison devised for women by a male dominated society and religious culture. And that if women wanted to be truly free, they would reject monogamy and embrace sexual lives of what he termed polymorphous perversity. What, pray tell, is polymorphous perversity? It is any type of sex that does not lead to procreation, which reminds me of a saying that I recall from my youth, which was, anything except the real thing ain't nothing but a jack-off. Apparently, that's what they're interested in.
I was choked on my bottle of water with that one.
But anyway, this is what it is. See, sex for recreation, not procreation. Any type of sex that is not going to lead to reproduction of human life, which would be anything from bestiality to homosexuality to all these other various and sundry. They have more flavors than Howard Johnson's used to.
Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, right. But that's what they're promoting, and they're promoting it. They're promoting sex as a means of pleasure and gratification rather than in its God-ordained role as being the way that our species reproduces itself. In fact, if you talk to these people, they are quick to point out that with sperm banks now, male-female sexuality is just superfluous. It's not necessary anymore. They can go to the sperm bank. Two homosexual women can do that and reproduce life just as well as a man and a woman can. And they would say even better, because they can choose everything that they want. It's like going to a car dealership and ordering all the accessories that you want, at least to hear them talk about it. So this is a brave new world we're living in, James, and it gets more and more bizarre by the...
Now, getting back to what we were talking about in the last segment, we were talking about all of these different genders and sexual orientations from which you can choose when you're creating your online dating profile now. It's no longer two genders and one normal sexual orientation. It's like 50 of each. But that's not even the new frontier of social justice. I mean, you can already see the day when pedophilia is legalized based upon the template they use for interracial marriage and homosexual marriage, bestiality, all that's coming, but that's not even... Think bigger, folks, when you want to find the next frontier.
Let's get beyond sex. Now, sex is just part of the life experience or the human experience. Now, we're transforming, or we're transitioning into non-human identities.
This is what Keith's getting at. That's right. Think bigger. Now, the left will tell you
outside the box.
We're all made of stardust anyway, so why can't we be trans species? That's where we're going, folks. That's where we're heading with all this progress. People can believe they're born into the wrong gender or wrong race or wrong sexual orientation.
Why not the wrong species?
Why not the wrong species? What does it mean? Now, there are people who believe, and this is gaining traction in the scientific, so-called scientific community, that they were born as wolves or elves, born into a human body.
Characters in the Zelda video game.
Well, that's right. One person says that he's actually a Japanese wood creature from The Legend of Zelda who was born into the body of a normal human. Trans ethnicity. Hey, listen, that's where we're going, and this is documented. There's this girl here who says she is a wolf mistakenly put into the body of a human, and she wears a collar and she has a tail and she chases birds, and she says, when she's around, when she sees a wolf, she really feels at one with them, and the day will come. Now you laugh at this. Now this is ridiculous, right? We're going to post this article to our website next week. We haven't quite put it there yet, but this is what's coming on. Now, it says...
It is
some of these people are actually ostriches and cats and all of these things, but they were born into human form, but they actually identify as dogs and wolves and other cartoon characters. That's who they really are. And who's to say that they're not? Because if you can say Bruce Jenner is really a woman, his anatomy be damned. Who's to say that these people aren't really wolves or elves? And who's to say that hey, you see the day you saw the Tom Hanks movie Big? Who's to say that this 40-year-old isn't really a kid? Mistakenly transformed into a 40-year-old. Yeah, he was having sex with 15-year-olds, but he wasn't 40. He was really 15 in his mind, and so that's what we got to go by.
If only right? OJ's lawyers had the benefit of these types of theories when they were crafting his defense. See, it is ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. I remember a vignette we had on this show some time ago about a woman in France that married a stone bridge.
She married a bridge.
Now,
the mayor said it was legit.
And we're all supposed to accept this with a straight face and nod solemnly to all this total inanity and total nonsense. Don't tell Bruce Jenner that he can now not only morph into a woman, he can morph into a wolf, or he can morph into a character from The Legend of Zelda.
And somebody nailed it here. Nova Aria in the chat. What these people consider themselves to be are otherkins. Otherkins. And you can look it up. Do a Google search for otherkin. It's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. And it's gaining traction. And how can they deny these people from identifying as wolves or elves or cartoon characters or anything else that they want to if they allow Bruce Jenner to say he's really a female? How do you draw the line? Where's the line end? Listen, your children will see the day when this girl will be acknowledged as a wolf if she wants to be.
And, of course, they'll browbeat the American Psychological Association into declaring that this is not neurotic or psychotic behavior on the part of these people. It is perfectly normal and natural. And we, the benighted straight people of the world, had better get used to it. We're going to have to share our space with these people. We're going to have a whole new raft of affirmative action coming in for people who believe they're wolves, apparently. The left is insane. The left is utterly insane.
I think that sums it up more than anything else we could say. I mean, that sums it up in what the left is, in the 4 words. The left is insane. That's it. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, that should be the end of it, but unfortunately it's not.
Al Sharpton will be on this bandwagon shortly.
Well, we've seen these 6'8" men playing basketball on girls' college teams because they say that they're really females, and we've talked about that years ago. This has been going on. You got these men; they've got all the anatomy and strength of a man, but they say they're actually, women. I mean, yeah, sure, they have a penis, but, what's that to say?
Well, that can go. That's dispensable, as Bruce is proving.
But they get in there?
I remember when Renee Richards, who was a just, ordinary country club tennis player, when he was Richard Richards, or whatever his name was, he got the transgender surgery, became Renee Richards, joined the Women's Pro Tour, and went to the top of it.
I got to laugh at something. I'm watching the political cesspool chat they're hosted at cfcc.org. Lost Hillbilly writes, Billy, do you take this woman as your wife? Bah. Because
I now pronounce you man and sheep.
I mean, it's all coming. If they can get this far, I mean, there's nothing. They never said they could.
I mean, talk about polymorphous perversity. Marcuse has succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. I mean, in a fever-deluded nightmare, he cannot have dreamt that ideas as absurd as his would, again, just take over our society and culture. Let's snap out of it, people. Let's tell these people they're full of it, and let's recapture our society and our culture before